Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. I kind of failed at uploading more consistently, like I said, but I think we finally got everything together to where we can start doing that. We've had a massive amount of like ice and snow here in West Virginia. It's actually got up to like 40s today and it's kind of rainy. It's kind of starting to melt everything, but now we are under a winter storm warning tonight. It's supposed to get like 2 to 4 inches of more snow. Everything is finally melting, like I said, but it was pretty bad. So let me give you a couple quick updates and then we'll get on with the purpose of this specific video. The LS swapped FRS drift car for the 2025 season. Got it wired. It's on the Haltech Rebel LS. Just did the cooling system, went to AutoZone, got a bunch of random tubes and fitted up and made everything work. A couple Amazon couplers later, that is going. Did get the JZX 110 shifter conversion done on the AR5 transmission. Kind of dark in there, hard to see, but it is in there going through all the gears. We do have to still do the trans mount. The C6 I did start taking apart to send all the stuff to paint. Going to completely repaint the car. I'm not going to do it this time, even though I did last time. Car is going to stay blue, but we are going to change the blue. This is Toyota Voodoo blue, and we're going to switch it to a Honda blue this time. Let's get on to the purpose of this video. I've been going back and forth about the 240. So a little backstory on this car. I traded my 350Z that you've seen in the drift videos from last year for this car. It is an SR20 swap S13 coupe. It runs, but it doesn't run well. So it's at that point of, do we rebuild the SR20 or do we swap the drivetrain? Now that I've swapped the drivetrain in the FRS, I kind of have a little more confidence in myself to do a swap. This is kind of what's going on under the hood right now, if it's not frozen. We do need to do some stuff to the bay. There is some surface rust, and I'm going to weld up all the holes that we're not going to be using. But this swap was done a while back, and I don't think it was done very well. So we're at that point that we're going to have to rewrite the script on this car either way, whether we pull out the SR, refresh it, stick it all back in there, or we swap the drive. I think I want to swap the drivetrain, and it's not an SR thing as much. Yeah, it is an SR thing. They're getting expensive. The parts for them to fix them are expensive, and I want to do something, as weird as that sounds, more cost effective. Now, I did just swap an LS in. I've got some background on that now, but I think we're gonna go with something else. What is that something else? If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen me searching for one. One popped up on Marketplace about 2 hours from here with a transmission for a really good deal, if it's legit. I know the guy, I'm friends with the guy on Facebook, and it was listed by him. He sent me all the pictures that I wanted. Apparently it does have a built bottom end, which is a plus. So when we get there, we'll look it over. Hopefully everything is what they say it is, but like I said, he's been pretty straightforward about everything. So let's hop in the truck, travel 2 hours north, pray it doesn't snow anymore, and pick up the new engine for the S13. All right, guys, so it's actually the next day. So we left off in a little montage of going and getting the motor, but we did pick up the engine and trans. And as fate would have it, my truck's wheel bearing decided to go out. So I was coming off an exit from the interstate. It flashed a four-wheel drive temporarily unavailable light. So we stopped at Lowe's. I had to get some bolts to put this engine on the engine stand, which I'm getting ready to do. And I tried to put the truck in four-wheel drive just to see if it would go. Four-wheel drive light blinked, it would not engage. So I posted on one of the Facebook groups. A guy commented, it was actually local to me, and said, hey, you got a wheel bearing, probably gonna go out. Mine did that. right before it started making a noise, and lo and behold, maybe 15 miles down the road, started making a noise. We made it about another 15 miles and it just gave out. Luckily, my buddy Aaron came to my rescue. It was his truck. I actually bought the truck off of him, but he has a rollback, so I paid him to come and get it. He actually brought the truck to my house so he can unload the engine and transmission, and then he took it to his garage and he's going to do the wheel bearing repair for me, because as I showed you guys yesterday, everything was starting to melt. And then today we have this again. So everything that was melting has completely undone itself. That is West Virginia weather for you. You really never know what you are going to get. Let me throw this on the engine stand. Like I said, I had to get some bolts. Had to go get some nuts because the bolts were too long. All the information that I found online about the bolt size, it was half right, the length was wrong. So I'm gonna throw it on the engine stand and I'll take you guys through the new drivetrain for the 240. All right guys, so it's about an hour later. We finally got that thing on the stand. Had to do it by myself. Had the engine laying on its side. Look, there's no oil in it or anything, but had to flip it up on its top, then lift it up, get it on the stand. Whole ordeal, find bolts to do it. Finally did it. So let me go ahead and jump into this drivetrain. So for transmission, what are we gonna be using, right? So we are going to be using the common swap transmission. We are using CD009 with the GK Tech relocated shifter, Collins adapter with bell housing. If you know swaps, that probably gives away what the engine is going to be. But we also got a whole tote full of parts here for a slave cylinders, pivot arm, everything appears to be in here. Obviously, I'm going to have to source out a lot more stuff, but we did get the big things. Let me stop dragging this out. You probably know what it is already, but what we're going to be running in the S13 240 is none other than a 2JZ GTE. So I picked this up from a guy about 2 hours away. It was on Marketplace. He worked with me on the price and I got a pretty good deal on it. Supposedly it has a built bottom end. He said it had manly rods and pistons, ARP hardware throughout, ARP head studs already, and it is already front sump, which is good for the 240. So we should be to the point that it looks like it has all the accessories with it. I didn't see a power steering pump, so we'll probably have to source one of those. But it does have stock intake manifold, which is, from what I understand, one of the better ones. I'll probably just run it. It does have injectors, which depending on turbo and everything, we're probably gonna have to change those anyway. And luckily we do have a throttle body. As you guys know, I'm a big LS guy. That's what I know, that's what I've built. So I'm definitely jumping out of my comfort zone with this platform, but luckily it's a 2J. The recipe's already figured out. It's been used in everything, and there's a ton of information online. I mean, there's Facebook groups, you know, dedicated to only these, many YouTube videos on assembly and disassembly. So I think what we're probably going to do, and this is not going to be a build that is on the channel anytime soon because we have to finish the FRS. It's very close. It's very close. It's running and all that. I have to do the trans mount, drive shaft, drop the subframe, do the rear coilovers, diff risers, weld the diff, all of that. And then we finally get to test it. It'll be the first weekend of March at SMP in, I think it's Salem, Indiana. So it's a 2-day event. I think we're only going to drive Saturday. Me and all the boys are going up. Got a bunch of new cars this year, so I'm pretty stoked to get everybody out there together. Hopefully this thing holds together. Should be a ripper. Then we're going to finish the C6. It's been on the back burner too long. Has to be fixed. Basically paint and tune and should be done. Maybe some coilovers. So anyway, it's kind of a chaotic video, but I'm gonna try, like I keep saying, to upload more. Just the weather has sucked. It's so hard to film like this build stuff by myself just because it adds so much time to it. And like you guys know, I have a baby girl. She just turned 11 months old today, which is crazy to me. It just flew by this year. Hopefully I can find some time to bring some more content to you guys. So that's going to be it for this one. So hit that big thumbs up button if you like the 2JZ drivetrain decision. We're going to sell all the SR stuff. So if you need SR20 engine, harness, trans, another SR20 that's in parts, everything I think is good except for one piston has a broke ringland on it. Everything else I think is good. But yeah, hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. leave it in the comments. Freaking email me, I don't care. But that's gonna be it. Like I said, hit that big thumbs up button, and I will see you guys on the next video.